Rami Makhzoumi became president and CEO of Future Pipe Industries in 2003. You can read that story here in the CEO's Journey. This is in English. It's also available in Arabic. It's one of the best things that Jacqueline Moore, my wife, and I ever wrote. Over just 5 years, he grew the business 5 times over, restructuring it worldwide. He focused relentlessly on customers and their needs. And there are many lessons we could share from those years. Because whenever Rami came to Europe, he would visit and he'd sit with us in the quad at London Business School. We'd be discussing his latest CEO roadshow, a podcast he'd done, or a planned IPO. What's happening? Jacqueline or I would ask. The only constant is change, he would say every time we met. It was a long-standing joke. But in this video, I want to share one of Rami's final visions. It was December of 2009. I sat in his office in Dubai, having just toured the Gulf Eternit fiberglass pipe manufacturing plant. Rami knew what every machine did. More importantly to me, he knew every worker by name. He shook their hands warmly as we walked round, sharing with them his usual dazzling but relaxed smile. "Where is this leading?" Rami asked after we finished discussing the next year ahead. I was puzzled and asked him to explain. And then we talked about the next 30 years ahead. With his family secure and in the scheme of things the global recession only temporary, Rami wanted, he said, to change the world. The only question in his mind was how. Most people won't be changed through politics, he suggested, but everyone the world over is touched by business. Anyone who makes something for someone else, anyone who buys something, anyone who uses something, everyone is affected by business. How could business change the world, he asked. He was thinking aloud, really. The answer, though, was obvious to me. Education, I said. If every man and woman gets trained in their trade or profession, and if every man and woman moving through the organization is trained to manage scarce resources and to lead their people well, doesn't that touch everyone? I put it to Rami that our legacy as leaders is education. He shook his head. "Well, that's only true if everyone has access to you," he said. "Does everyone in the world have access to the best education of the best business schools? I think not," he said. "We've got to take business education away from academia." I was on fire at that. "But academia has its place," I said. "Without solid research, you'd flood the world with half-baked ideas like The Secret and the so-called law of attraction." Rami calmed me down, assured me that research had a place, yes, but that uppermost in our minds should be making that research relevant to practicing managers. Because it's what managers do with the tools at their disposal that is key, he said. Then he said something that struck me as profound. "More than education as a legacy," Rami said, "it's your idea of legacy as a legacy that really matters." And it hit me hard. Of course, I've been coaching top CEOs and senior executives that your legacy matters. So a strategy of constantly crafting and sharing your living legacy makes perfect sense to me. I explained it later to Jackie, and I explained it as a simple question. "Look at it this way," I said. "When you're not in the room to guide the team, your people need to know just one thing. What is your purpose in business, in the world? Why are we doing this?" In other words, having a clear legacy is the best way to get everyone involved in your vision, to get everyone involved in changing the world. And it's why now, as part of our process of helping clients to understand their legacy or writing books to capture their legacy, we always ask the question, what are you known for? Because we want executives, we want you to understand the impact that your legacy has on other people. If actions speak louder than words, then your legacy shouts from the rooftops. The logic is strong. To reach more people, to have more impact in the world, you must always be crafting a legacy. Importantly, you must also realize that you have more than one legacy, aside from your legacy to your family, of course. You have the legacy that you're building in your current project. You have your legacy for the business that you're currently serving. Your legacy to the industry that you serve. Your legacy to your corner of the profession that you qualified for. and you have your legacy to the world. Everything you do is a legacy. Everything you do contributes to your living legacy. Rami helped me to see this. Every project, everything you do must be carried through using all of your peak potential. Every project must be the best project you were ever involved in. And when you finish that project, you start another and you take it to an even higher level. Over the past 10 years since Rami died, we've put everything we have and everything we are into understanding how and why you need to build a legacy. If we can help you see, as Rami did, that you are your legacy, then perhaps we will have done our work, because your legacy is not concrete. It's not your name above a university or a hospital. Your legacy is inextricably linked to everything you achieve, and so everything you achieve becomes your living legacy. So what is your legacy? And please, don't leave it to chance to decide for you. Build your legacy in advance. What now? Well, if you're thinking of capturing your legacy so far in a book, call me. What is your legacy? What's your story? And what can future generations learn from your story? If it would help to have me as a sounding board, it would be my pleasure to help you. It's the least I can do for you. And I'd love to introduce you to Rami Makhzoumi. He was unforgettable.